CMUEagles.com with Central Methodist head men's basketball coach Jeff Sherman as the Eagles prepare to travel to Olathe, Kansas on Saturday for a 4 p.m. Central Time tip-off against MidAmerica Nazarene. Coach, the Pioneers are having an uncharacteristic season, to say the least. 3-12 right now overall, losers of 5 straight. What do you think has been some of the issues with them, especially considering they were a Final Four team last year?
Well, you know, they've had a changing of the guard in many aspects. They've lost a lot of good players, and at the start of the season, a big blow to them was losing possibly the best point guard in our conference right off the bat with a knee injury. So it is uncharacteristic to see a Mid-America team with that type of record. But I think in the conference play, their stats are still very good. They should have beaten a very good Evangel team last week at their place. I think they still have one of the best home court advantages of anybody in the conference. They play a style of play that's unique, fun. It's fun to watch. They're one of the best up-tempo teams in the country. But I think they're struggling this year to find some identity. There's got to be some new players, obviously, be able to step up. There's been some games they've been, so close. And but at the same time, it's another testament to how good the conference is this year.
On Saturday, you'll be facing MidAmerica Nazarene coach Rocky Lamar, who's been at the helm of the Pioneers for a long time. You just came off a game facing Evangel Steve Jenkins, and then you've already played Columbia's Bob Burchard. So this season you will have faced 3 of the top 5 winningest coaches in NAIA Division I men's basketball history. What are some of the things about a Rocky Lamar program that impress you, and just talk about your relationship with him, having been around this conference for so long?
Well, sure. I mean, obviously Rocky's he's getting ready to go for 700 career wins now. He's only about 6 away from that. Jenkins is about 650, and Burchard's getting close to 700. My whole career has been coaching against all these guys and everybody in the top 10. So it's a challenge each and every night. That's one of the things that we're happy that we've kind of found a way to survive in many aspects. We've got a good rivalry going with all those programs. Rocky is known as one of the best up-tempo coaches. His teams are very well coached, very disciplined, and they're used to winning. You've talked this last week, Evangel's had 10 straight 20-win seasons. MidAmerica is very similar. They've gone to both over 10 to 15 national tournament appearances in their careers. So you're facing a program that's a very storied program within the NAIA, both Division II and now Division I. They made the Final Four last year, and they're struggling a little bit this year. It's kind of an uncharacteristic part for a MidAmerica team. But we go through those, and but it still stays the same. There's a Rocky Lamar court there in Olathe. It's pretty phenomenal when you can get a court named after you, and so that being said right there, that's pretty impressive. But Rocky and I go back a long ways. We're very good friends, and hopefully tomorrow we can maybe get on the upper end. But it's fun to compete against their teams. We've got a great rivalry, as I mentioned, and it's good for the NAIA. Bottom line, our conference is just known for the coaching as much as some conferences are known for their talent. We're known as the coaching conference.
Despite MidAmerica Nazarene's struggles, Nate Lonnie is still having an excellent year for them, averaging 18.9 points per game. What are some of the challenges that he poses to your squad?
Well, it's not only him. Their lineups have changed a lot the last 5-6 games, and again, it's like you're trying to find an identity. He's put up some big numbers. He has not traditionally been their leading scorer. He has to score points for them this year. They had Jordan Whalen, I believe, led them in scoring with Peru State with 25, and he's another player that's kind of come from nowhere. If these guys start to get hot and they start to really buy into what they're doing, this could be a scary team. I know the struggles that it is to find people in the right roles. They've got good size, they've got good quickness. So this is still a very good team, and they're still in the conference race. Everybody's still in the conference race right now. So you really can't go looking at the overall records. We have a good overall record. But we're not in any better situation than what a MidAmerica would be right now. We're both pretty much right there. One game separates us, and we're both still trying to regroup. You know, we're coming off 2 losses ourselves, and in many ways, not that we're feeling sorry for ourselves, but have been dealt some bad cards with a couple of injuries. And with that, we've got to find a way to buy into the part that we're still good enough. We still have a very good bench. We still have very good players that are out there. We need to find a new identity now that represents the team that's playing versus what we could have been. And, you know, they're the same way. They lost their best point guard, best in the conference to start the year, and they're still trying to find that identity.
Your team had a double-digit lead there last year before losing in overtime, which kind of kick-started MidAmerica Nazarene's run to the Final Four, you could argue. What's your message to your team on Saturday so that if you are able to build that kind of a lead that you're able to maintain it?
Well, we could even go into last night. We had a 9-point lead with Evangel early and ended up getting beat by 18, 19 points. It's a lead depends on when it is, obviously, and any lead the first half isn't going to be safe against anybody in our conference, and I think we've learned that. MidAmerica is the type of team that can get up 10 or 12 in a heartbeat, but also by playing that way, they can find themselves dropping that lead. It's important for us just to understand that we've got to stay and play our game and not get into their game. And again, be a little bit more efficient, you know, be a little bit more detailed. But again, it's one of those things that last year, that was a fun game. It also brought out, I think, a phenomenal performance from Melvin Tillman. You know, it was a 40-point, 15-assist night, and we lost. And it just shows you how tough it is to play down there. We played a phenomenal game down there, but they had the team, and it was. They went on a run right there and finished in Final Four. So we're close. I think we had the same type of team we had last year with an exception of a Melvin Tillman, but we've got more people, I think, that can get it done. We just have to find everyone showing up on the same night. And regardless, it's a fun place to play. If you like basketball, basketball fans, it's a good brand of basketball. And when the two of us play, it's fun. And we need to get regroup here today and look forward to going down, lacing it up, and getting up and down the court and coming away with the W.